diagram that we'll be using automatic phase selector. So how does it work? This is a three-phase selector in such a way that we have only one load, which is single phase. It means that when the red phase is working, when all the phases are working, only one phase will be supplying the load. But when any of the phases drop, the other will supply the load. For example, if the red phase, if there's no red phase, that if the red phase drop, the yellow phase will take over. If the yellow phase drop, the blue phase will take over. So the load must be on as far as there is supply in any of the phases. So we have three contactors here and two different pin relays. This is contactor 1 is for red phase, contactor 2 is for yellow phase, contactor 3 is for blue phase. Looking at it, see that we have pin relay. This one is 11 pin relay. This one is 11 pin relay. Looking at it, see that we have 8 pin relay. This one is 8 pin relay. This dotted line shows that it's pin relay. This dotted line shows that it's pin relay. And this is the input part of it. And this is the neutral. The neutral supplies the A2 and the load, and the live wire supplies A1 and the output. So the L1, T1 is the output of L1. So let's go ahead and do the connection to see how to connect this panel. Alright, so looking at this place, see that we have three contactors. I'm using this one for red phase, yellow phase, blue phase, and this is 11 pin relay and 8 pin relay. So when you open this, you see that this is 11 pin relay base and this is 8 pin relay base. Alright, so we'll be using this for the connection. So let's go to the connection immediately. Alright, so looking at this diagram now, you see that this is red phase. I'm using this supply as the red phase supply. This supply as the red phase supply, this one. So looking at this supply, and I see that I have to connect to L1. So the red phase connect to what? L1, and from L1 it connects to terminal number 2 of the 11 pin relay. This is the 11 pin relay. So I have to connect the terminal number L1 here to terminal number 2 of the 11 pin relay. So let's connect this L1 to terminal number 2 of the 11 pin relay. This is terminal number 2 of the 11 pin relay. And according to the diagram, see that 2 connects to 1 of the 11 pin relay. So we have to connect this to 1 of the 11 pin relay, which is this terminal. So looking at the diagram again, you see that we have connected this. You see that the A1 of the contactor 1, which is the red phase contactor, connects to where? Terminal number 3 of the 11 pin relay. So let's connect it. So this terminal number A1 of the contactor connects to terminal number 3 of the 11 pin relay. This is the terminal number 3 of the 11 pin relay. So looking at the diagram again, you see that we have connected this. So we have to then face the yellow phase. We have connected the red phase. Looking at the yellow phase, see that the yellow phase connect to L1 of contactor 2. So we are using this as contactor 2, and we are using it as the yellow phase contactor. And from L1 of contactor 2, connect to terminal number 6 of the 11 pin relay. So let's connect it. So the terminal number L1 of the yellow contactor, which is contactor 2, connects to terminal number 6 of the 11 pin relay. So this is the terminal number 6 of this 11 pin relay here. So when you look at it, we have connected this. So looking at it very well, the diagram, you see that the terminal number 5 of this 11 pin relay, when you trace it, you see that it connects to terminal number 2 of the 8 pin relay. So this one connects to terminal number 5 of this 11 pin relay. So let's connect it. Terminal number 5, when you look inside, see terminal number 5 here, see that we are connecting it to terminal number 2 of the 8 pin relay. So this is terminal number 2 of this 8 pin relay. And looking at the whole connection, you see that terminal number 2 of the 8 pin relay connects to terminal number 1 of the 8 pin relay. So we have to connect to terminal number 1 of the 8 pin relay using a cable. Alright, so we have to connect this terminal number 2 to terminal number 1 of the 8 pin relay. So this is the terminal number 1 of this 8 pin relay. Alright, so we are connected 2 to 1. So looking at it, the diagram again, you see that the terminal number 3 of the 8 pin relay connects to terminal number A1 of the yellow phase contactor. So we have to connect this terminal number 3. This is terminal number 3 of this 8 pin relay here. So we have to connect it. So you have to connect it to terminal number A1 of the yellow phase contactor, which is this terminal. So looking at the diagram again, you see that we have connected the yellow phase contactor, remaining the blue phase. Looking at it again, you see that the blue phase connects to L1 of the blue phase contactor. So I'm using this as blue phase contactor. So from the L1, it connects to, when you trace this wire, I see that it connects to terminal number 11 of the 11 pin relay. So L1 of the blue phase contactor connects to terminal number 11 of the 11 pin relay. So let's go ahead and connect it. Like you see that this is the supply of blue phase, and we have connected to L1 of the blue phase contactor, which is K3, and then we are connecting it to terminal number 11 of the 11 pin relay. This is terminal number 11 of the 11 pin relay. So looking at the diagram very well, you see that the terminal number 8 of the 11 pin relay, when you trace it, you see that it connects to A1 of this blue phase contactor. Okay, the blue phase contactor, which is K3, which is contactor 3, that is the A1 of the blue phase contactor. When you trace it, you see that it connects to terminal number 8 of the 11 pin relay. So let's go ahead and connect wire to there. Alright, so we have connected the A1 of the blue phase contactor to terminal number 8 of the 11 pin relay. So this is it. So we have connected this. So looking at the diagram very well, you see that the T1 of contactor 1, which is red phase, connects to the T1 of contactor 2, which is the yellow phase, connects to T1 of the contactor 3, which is the blue phase, and connects to the load. So let's go ahead and connect it. So according to the diagram, T1 of contactor 1, which is the red phase contactor, have been connected to T1 of contactor 2, which is the blue phase contactor, have been connected to T1 of contactor 3, which is the, T1 of contactor 1, which is the red phase contactor, have been connected to T1 of contactor 2, which is the yellow phase contactor, and have been connected to the T1 of contactor 3, which is the blue phase contactor, and have been connected to the load according to the diagram. Okay, so looking at the diagram very well, you see that the neutral part, we have not connected the neutral part at all. So we have to connect the neutral source. All the neutral source have to be connected together. Neutral source have to connect to A2 of contactor 1, connect to A2 of contactor 2, connect to A2 of contactor 3. Then it has to connect to terminal number 7 of the 8 pin relay, and also connect to terminal number 10 of the 11 pin relay. So let's go ahead and connect all of them together. So looking at the whole thing, you see that the neutrals have been connected. From the neutral source, you connect to A2 of the contactor 1, which is the red phase contactor, and the A2 of contactor 2, which is the yellow phase contactor, and the A2 of contactor 3, which is the blue phase contactor, and this connects to terminal number 7 of the 8 pin relay, and connects to terminal number 11 of the terminal number 10 of the 11 pin relay. This is terminal number 10 of the 11 pin relay, and then connect to the neutral load, because the neutral requires neutral to function. So the neutral and the live terminals of the load have been connected. So what is remaining now is for us to test. All right, so we have to test, and all the neutral links, all the neutrals have to be linked together. So let's go ahead and test. Alright, so we have set the power supply, and these are the 3 phases. This one is for the red phase, this one is for the yellow phase, and this one is for the blue phase. So to test it, first of all, this is the load that we are using. So to test it, you see that when the red phase is on, you see that the load will be on, and the yellow phase, when it's on, you see that okay, let's put this one, you see that it's on and everything remains on. But something happens. Let's say that the red phase drop, okay, it will return to the blue phase. If the yellow phase comes in, you see that it's working, and when this one drops, it will return to the other phase. So in this case now, any phase that drops, you see that all of them will be on together. So if any phase drop, the other one will take over. If blue phase drops, it will return to yellow phase will take over. If yellow phase drop, red phase will take over. But the one that is taking is superior among them is the red phase. So the load is working on the red phase now. If the red phase drops, it will return to the yellow phase. If the yellow phase drops, it will return to the blue phase. If the blue phase drops, everything off. Alright? So in any of the phases, it can on the load. Any phase at all can power the load.